Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of Computer Organization and Advanced Microprocessors. This is our lecture number 25. These days we are learning memory organization and management, right? And we have already discussed about the what is memory. Also we did correlated with the human brain, how does memory work, how it stores the data, what are the different parameters which we need to keep in mind while we go to buy a new computer memory, right? So all these points we have already discussed. So we have a base of or a base to understand that what is memory. And in today's lecture we'll see that how this computer memory is classified in different categories based on some certain parameters. So let's check it out. Okay, so now let's see the classification of memory. So basically computer memory is classified in four different sections or in four different categories. So the very first category is memory divided or bifurcated or classified based on the functionality or its role. Means what is the functionality of, because see we know that many types of memories are available, so based on the functionality we have classified it, and after classifying all the memories based on the functionalities, we have total five different memories. Main memory we have, then we have auxiliary memory, then cache is there, then CAM is there, and then virtual memory is there. So these five memories are classified based on the functionality, because each and every memory has the different functionality, different role. So total five memories in the under the functionality category, right? So this is the first one. The second category is based on the access method. See, because all these are the memories, so of course ultimately we access the data, right? We store and retrieve the data, but ultimately we are accessing the memory, we are accessing the location of the memory. So based on different access methods, because all the memory has a different access method, so based on that we have three different categories or a classification: random access memory, then we have sequential memories, and then we have a semi-random memories. See, we will see about all these memories in detail in consecutive lectures. This is just an introduction of classification of memory. Fine. Okay, then the third category is the capability of memory, because each and every memory has a different capacity or a different capability, right? What they can do or how they can do, what is their capacity to work, or what is the capability. So based on that we have RAM and the ROM. So these two memories comes under the capability. Fine. And the very last classification or very last category is the based on the technology. So based on the technology, there are four different technologies are available. So the very first is the based on the some memories, maybe magnetic core technology using, then some may using magnetic bubble technology, some may use semiconductor technology, and some may use optical technology. So basically these four technologies are available for any memory, and we'll see about the functionality, access method, and the capability. These three categories we will see in the detail in the consecutive lectures. Fine. So this is about the classification of memory. Before we go in the detailed study of the different memories, let's just take a look that how all these memories look like. So the functionality and role based on that first classification, main memory. So your RAM and ROM is nothing but your main memory, that is the primary memory, right? So this is the your first memory, that is the RAM and ROM, that is the main memory. Then you have the auxiliary memory. Auxiliary memory are nothing but your secondary memory, like your pen drive, hard disk, CD, floppy drive, so floppy disk. So all these are the your auxiliary or the secondary memory. Then we have the cache memory, right? So cache memory, we know that it has total three levels, right? This cache comes with the three different levels. So two levels you can find outside the processors and one you can find inside the CPU. So here you can see that we have level 2 cache and level 1 cache is there. So it varies, right? But ultimately you can find level 3 and 2 outside the CPU and level 1 inside the CPU. So and okay, and about this CAM and virtual memory, these are the concept. Actually CAM and virtual memory is a concept that we will learn in detail, but it is not like some device, it's a concept of memory, so that also we'll see. So this is about the functionality based memories. Okay, so now let's see the access method, right? So we have total three access methods. First, that is the random access we have. Then we have sequential access method, and the third one is the semi-random access method. So let's understand the meaning of these methods. Here we have an image. As you can see that two different memories are here, and we have multiple blocks of the memory. The first one is the random access, right? And here we have multiple blocks, right? We have multiple blocks. Suppose I am at this location. Okay. Suppose I'm at this location and I want to reach at this location. In that case, what will happen? This memory or this technology directly jump to the desired location, right? Because this follows the random access. But in the case of the sequential access, what happens in the sequential access? Suppose you are over here and you want to reach to you want to access this location. In that case, it has to cross all the, or it has to visit all the locations, and ultimately it will reach over here. So this is the sequential access. This is the sequential access. But now what about the semi-random? Semi-random means normally when you talk about your hard disk, right? See, here we have one example. Here we have, see, here we have read and write head, and this is your CD, or we call it a platter. Let's say that, let me draw over here. Okay, so this is your CD or a platter, and here you have tracks. We know, right, that your memory is divided into different tracks and sectors. So tracks we have, then we have different sectors. So finally we got the different blocks. Let's say that right now your memory head is over here at this position, at this location it is, right? And you want to access this track. You want to access this track and this location you want to access. In that case, what it has to do, see, we are talking about this semi-random, means random access is there and sequential access is also there. So what it does, first this head, see, first this head to jump, or it has to forward, little bit forward at this position. So now it is over here, right? So it is at this position, and then this disk has to rotate in this direction. So once it will rotate at this location, and when it will reach at this point, at that moment we can fetch the data. So it's an example of the semi-random. Means random access is also there and sequential access is also there. You will study this semi-random in detail in the consecutive lectures. As I told you that we are going to learn about all these things in detail in our next coming lecture. So just take it lightly that okay, access methods are there and three different methods are there. So this is about the access method. Okay, so the third classification is based on the capability. So based on the capability, we have total two memories we can consider, RAM and the ROM. See, what happens when you work with the memory? So either you can perform the read operation or you can perform the write operation, right? And it might be possible that you can perform both the operations. So how you can use that memory? Can you perform only read operation, or this memory will allow you to only write the data, or you can perform both the operations? So based on this capability of any memory, we have two types. One is the RAM and the second is the ROM. And we know very well that RAM stands for random access memory, where you can perform read and write both the operations, while ROM stands for read only memory, means you can only read, you cannot write any data there. So this is the classification based on the capability. So the fourth classification is based on the technology. When you manufacture the memory, when you design the memory, so you have to keep in mind that what is the actual use of the memory. So based on the use of that particular memory, we decide the technology. That okay, suppose X memory I want to design, and so its use means I'll use the A technology. So it depends that. Choosing the technology is solely depends on the use of that memory, that where this memory is going to be used, what type of system it will have, what type of transaction it needs to do. So many other things, so many other parameters are there. So based on the technology, there are total four technologies. First is the magnetic core technology, then the second is the magnetic bubble technology, third is the semiconductor memory. See, semiconductor memories are the most widely used technology is the semiconductor, and the last one is the optical. So these are the different technologies, and based on the technologies we have different memory. So this is just an image to show that how magnetic core memory looks like, or technology looks like. So this is the example of the magnetic core technology. Then there is a magnetic bubble technologies. There are the different technologies. Then we have the semiconductor type memory, which is widely used. As I told you, semiconductor types memory widely used. And the last one is the optical. So these are the different technologies which are used in manufacturing of any type of memory. So guys, it was all about the classification of memory, very basic idea, very introductory lecture in which we have just discussed about the different classifications of the memory. But we'll discuss all these memories, all this classification in detail in the consecutive lectures. So there we'll actually learn that how actually memory organized, how memory management done by the operating system. So till the time that this is the thing, so happy learning, thank you.